Before we jump into today's video, I just want to say I really appreciate all of the support lately. I've been posting a lot more on Instagram, TikTok, and now YouTube. The funny thing is that, this has been something that I've mostly kept to myself over the last 6 years. And a lot of people had no idea that I've actually been involved in trading for that long. So it's pretty cool to just see everyone's reactions as I finally, start posting and sharing more of my journey. And it's honestly relieving for me too, just because, it has been something that I've kept to myself for so long, but I really think that this can help a lot of other people as far as, actually how to approach the markets and the ways that I trade. My goal with this channel is honestly just to help as many traders as I can become consistently profitable, whether that's creating an extra income stream, an extra income outside of your 9 to 5, or like replacing it altogether. I believe that trading can change people's lives if it's approached the right way and you treat this like a business. So I also have some really exciting plans for this channel and honestly for my personal life, because over the next 6 months, I'm going to be upgrading to, a better setup with a dedicated office, and it's also going to be abroad. So that is what's coming up in the next 6 months, but I'm going to keep that a mystery for now. I'm going to be bringing you guys along the journey for that. I'm very, very excited about it. It's been something that's been on the vision board for a long time, and I think it's just going to be overall a very good mix of lifestyle, but also work as well. But for now, we're working with what we've got, the current setup, the speaker, the background, and all that. I'd rather start creating content now that helps people rather than wait until everything is perfect. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure that you're subscribed, because I'm going to be posting a lot more here on YouTube. Now let's get into today's topic. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is, should I scalp or should I swing trade? Personally, I believe that swing trading is far more profitable for most traders, not because scalping doesn't work. I've scalped in the past and I've had a decent amount of success with it. I've passed multiple prop firms only scalping, but I do believe that swing trading, it gives you a much bigger edge in the market over the long run. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly why I believe that and why it's completely changed my trading results. So now let's dive into it. I just wanted to go over a trade that I was looking at actually this week, but the reason why I personally switched over to swing trading and intraday trading after being a scalper for almost 3-4 years, it generally just comes down to your personality. Like, would you rather be in a trade for a few minutes and just know right away, or do you have a bit more patience and you can let trades play out and just check in on it throughout the day? Personally, I'm going with consistency every single time, right? Especially now with the opportunities with prop firms and being able to have access to a lot of capital. Like, yes, the temptation with scalping is there, where you can make a lot of money really quickly. You can make a couple $1,000s and a couple minutes, honestly, depending on some of these moves. This is a trade that I was looking at this week, right, on AUDJPY. So this is on the 4-hour chart, right? Daily, weekly, 4-hour. Those are my main time frames that I look at to actually get which direction I'm looking to take for the week. So this is one that I missed right here on this bearish move. We had all my confluences to get into this trade. We had the shift to structure, we had the trend, all that good stuff. So I just barely missed out on it on this. I have my pending order set at 113,200, which price I was on this candlestick right here, it just barely missed it. But say for example, right, I get into this trade, it enters me in, and I put my stops above, and then what I'm looking for is a target the low, which we had marked up right here. All right, so this trade would have been a 2.61 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so if you were risking on a $100,000 account, we'll just say, for example, you're risking 1%, that's $2,600 that you just made on this trade, right? So the reason why this is important is, well, I'll get into it in a second, right? Because if you were scalping on this entire, move right here, it just becomes a lot less clear, right? So we get down to the 1 minute, okay? This area, this is all just the area where we bounced off several times, where it looks like on the higher time frames, right? For example, right, you could literally get in this trade right here. Oh, I guess any of these trades, right? You say, okay, well, I see that we're in an uptrend, so let me just buy this right here. You get in for a buy. We had a really strong candle. We broke structure on all these. We had the retest. I bet I'm going to buy it. And then you get stopped out right here. So now you're already at one loss. And that's within what, probably like 15 minutes, maybe less than that. And you already took a loss. So now you're down 1R, which 1% on a 100K account, that's 1,000, right? You're down 1R. Then you say, oh, well, let me try and take a sell right here. Or even down here, right? You could say, I'm going to try and scalp this right here. We broke below, stop right here. And yep, you got like a little 1 to 2.7. But then price continued to play out and boom, you get stopped out again. So now you're at 2 losses. And what is this here? What is that in like a day? Literally the same day, you already have 2 losses, right? And then say, you try and get in this one. We had a break above, we're looking for the retest, and then stop loss below, boom. You get stopped out again, right? Now you're already down 3 losses, but let's just say, you get a lucky trade and, you connect on one of these trades right here. So stop above, we get a decent move. We target the low right here, or honestly, even lower. We'll target the low down here. So, price played around, almost came back and stopped you out, which is insane psychology. Okay, so now you got a 2.82, but still you're overall negative over those last 3 trades on those losses that you took. And now you're trying to get into another trade over here. You're like, oh, okay, bet we see this rejection right here. I'm just going to get in this long because it's not going to go below after this wick right here. And then boom, you get stopped out again. And then price goes up into your direction. So I think you guys now definitely get the point, right? Scalping, it's just not as consistent, right? You're trying to sell one day and then buy the same day. You're taking 2 different directions on the same day, hoping that price is going to play out in your direction. But if you look at it on the other hand, right, we zoom out, right? The way I like to picture it is, it's a football analogy, right? You can either be the people that are on the front line, on the line of scrimmage, the ones that are, battling, the blockers, all that kind of stuff. Or you can sit back and actually be the QB, right? You have the ball in your hand. You can see everything. You can see the whole field. That's, to me, is what swing trading is versus scalping. Swing trading is like being the quarterback. Because if we zoom out on this entire thing, we're like, okay, now we see this as clear as day, right? We have a daily area of interest. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So now we already cut our work in half. We already know that we're only looking for sells from this area, especially after the fact that we had this strong daily rejection right here. So now it's just about scaling down all the way down, right? We have the break of structure on the 4 hour. And, we had these equal highs right here. So then it's just about scaling down. The lowest that I'll go is the 15-minute time frame. And even that can be a little bit confusing at times, right? Because even if we look at it from here, we still had the break of structure and the shift of structure on the 1 hour as well. On this candlestick right here, we had a strong candlestick below, stop loss. I like to give my trades room to breathe, right? Stop loss above, because I cannot stand when I have the full direction that price is going and it ends up playing all the way to my TP, but I get stopped out by just a pip or 2, right? So I like giving my trades room to breathe. So even if it does go all up in here and it consolidates and then we get the push, like, I'm okay with that because I'm the quarterback. I'm seeing the entire play. I have a vision that we're going to be going short. We're going to be going bearish, and I want to position myself to put myself in that best spot without, getting sacked or something, you know what I mean? Before I even get the chance to throw the ball. So that's the way that I look at it, right? So if you took those 3 trades, right, we'll break this down with simple math. So you took 3 trades. You took 3 trades that went straight to, well, you got stopped out. So, which equals negative 3R, right? Then we had 1 trade that played out to, I think it was a 2.5R, right? And then, say we connected on another small win, right? You got in, got out, you got scared. So we connected on a smaller win again for another like 1R. We'll say 2.5R. We'll say you want another solid trade, right? So overall with the scalping, right, out of these 5 trades, you're up 2R, okay? You're up 2R overall. Or that entire time that price was playing around in this zone, right? You were trying to scalp, you're trying to buy it and then sell it on the 1 minute. You could have just caught this entire move. You could have literally entered in anywhere in here, like not even looking at the structure. You could have just entered in a pending order, stop loss above, and still came out with a 2.5 or 2.6 risk to reward, which is gonna be more than the 2R overall that you were trying to make with scalping. And you did 5 times 5 times the amount of work, and all that psychology. Not even the psychology, we didn't even play that into factor, right? After taking 2 losses on a day and then taking another loss the next day, how does that actually affect your psychology going into the next trade? It's tough. It really is. There's no way that you can, go into the next trade feeling 100% confident, and then you literally could just get spiked out on one candle within 2 minutes, right? So this is the reason why I prefer swing trading and intraday trading. Like, there is times where I will get into positions where, I have a tighter stop loss and I'm entering in on the 15-minute, and it is more of an intraday trade, but I don't go past the 15-minute time frame. I don't go any lower than that, because at that point price just becomes way too noisy and it's too difficult to identify the direction. So 80% of my efforts are focused on the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, and the 4-hour time frame, and finding the entry that, makes the most sense from the higher time frame perspective, right? Because like even on AUD JPY, like this was a trade that I took that was more of an intraday trade up here. No, and price actually did look very solid. But the reason why I took this is because, we were in bearish structure. We shifted structure. And then we had this really nice liquidity sweep just above. We spiked above, took out the stops, and then we had the rejection, and I just targeted the low down here. So there are times where I'm going to take trades like that, but they do not touch the 1 minute anymore. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling anybody to not scalp. Like, that's more power to you. If you can scalp and you can make consistent profits and, be hitting those really high risk rewards that I know people hit. There's definitely people out there that are hitting those, 1 to 5s, 1 to 6s, 1 to 7s, just scalping on the 1 minute. But if it's hard for you to handle that psychology of taking 2, sometimes 3 losses in the same day within a couple of minutes, remind you, right? Then scalping is just not going to be it for you. And it takes 100% of your attention for at least 1 to 3 hours in a session to really pinpoint where I'm going to get in, where I'm going to get out on these scalping moves. Because everything, when you're playing this back, right? Like everything can look like an entry. You got, we're in an uptrend, so you're like, okay, well, we're probably going to be pushing higher, and then all of a sudden it goes the other way, right? So yeah, guys, that's really all I had for this one. I don't want to keep this too long, but this is the biggest reason why I personally swing trade, and I think the fastest way to becoming actually profitable and making income with trading, especially now with prop firms, right? There should be no rush at all to be trying to make, a few $1,000s within a few minutes, right? You have access to $200, $300, $400,000 accounts with some of these prop firms. If you can just make 1% a day, you're sitting pretty. That's, for not doing any kind of physical work and, just using your brain and entering in and just letting it play out, there's really no excuse why you should be trying to rush the market. Hopefully you guys have a different perspective on why I believe that swing trading has a much bigger edge than scalping for the vast majority of traders. If your goal is to start generating income from the markets without having to quit your job or spend hours staring at the chart every single day, I truly believe that swing trading is one of the best paths to get there. But I'd love to hear what you guys think on it. Do you prefer swing trading or scalping? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I read every single one and I love hearing different perspectives from other traders. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video and you guys want to see more content like this, again, just make sure that you subscribe, because I'm going to be posting a lot more on here on YouTube. You guys can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm going to be posting a lot more trading content, market breakdowns, and just updates throughout the week as well. I also have my free trading Discord community where I share different market insights, trade breakdowns, and just trades that I'm looking to take throughout the week. So if you guys would like to join me, the link is in my bio. And if you're brand new to trading, or you've been struggling to become consistently profitable and you'd like to join my free 90-day trader challenge, just DM me on Instagram and I will send you over the details and get you set up. But yeah, for now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.